You've been crafted and created, customized by your Creator to be a catalyst for world change. In other words, your arrival on this earth is not an accident, even if your birth was not intentional on the part of your parents, even if the circumstances were not favorable, even if your relationship with your parents is not pleasant. God intentionally orchestrated your existence on this earth for such a time as this. As Dr. Stevenson says, great men and women are only born at the time they're needed the most. So you were born when you needed to be born. You were born where you needed to be born. You were born the way you needed to be born, because God arranged your existence on earth in this period in human history for a reason.
Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're taking care of yourself. It has been a super trying 2 weeks on my emotions. I don't know if it has been on yours. Whoever you are, it's just been tough to see. And that's why I've taken so long to put together content and write or make this video, because I just wanted it to come from a sincere place where I had processed, where I'd asked the Holy Spirit, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to do? I wanted to not force it, but organically, start back. Not just because I felt I had to, but because I felt like I was ready. So, not going to make this long. It's going to be short, hopefully. And yeah, we're just going to hop into it. So, I remember in 2016, Lecrae, who is if you don't know who he is, he's a Christian rapper, heavily esteemed by the white evangelical community, since he started probably around 2010, 2009, I don't know, but, dearly loved, I would say mostly by white evangelical people. And I remember on the 4th of July, he posted an Instagram post that basically said, while America was getting their independence, like, my ancestors were still enslaved. And how the comments, you should just stick to the gospel. You should just, don't bring politics into it, man. Just keep rapping. I was shocked. I was like, wait a second. But he's standing up for injustice. He's calling things out. I mean, and he is a black man before he's your favorite rapper. So I think at that moment, that's a great example. The reason why I bring it up, that's a great example of how being black, being a Christian, and being an American can be complex things. It can get to a place where, like Lecrae, people are asking you to step away from one in order to embrace the other, as if, Christ didn't make us on purpose. Christ didn't make every fiber of our being on purpose. And so that's when I realized, like, wow, this is complex. This is going to be interesting. That was the same year that Philando Castile, Alton Sterling, died, and many others died at the hands of police. Black men died at the hands of police brutality. It was also the year that 9 Dallas police officers were killed. So you had All Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, like, all just creating this jumble on Facebook. And then it was also election year. So you had, President Trump in the running and eventually winning. And that was hard to see, personally. Not because of particular politics, but because of his character. Racist, sexist, misogynistic things that he said. And seeing other Christians back that, it was all traumatizing. It was all traumatizing. As a black woman, as a Christian woman, as an American, I felt extremely unpatriotic, and sometimes still do, to be honest. So, But during that time, like, the response of the church at large was overwhelmingly disappointing. And I don't say that to make anyone feel bad. I say that because it was true, and that most of that year I was angry, and I just kept my mouth shut because I was like, I don't even know what I'm gonna say because I'm just so angry right now. Like, what is happening? I felt like I was stuck in the twilight zone because for years you feel like the church is the safest place, and then all this stuff starts happening, and it's not that everyone turns into an enemy, but it's just the fact that it's like, man, I don't know if you can accept fully who I am, because I'm black and I feel this pain, but yet you're kind of telling me to stick my head in the sand and just love each other and all lives matter and we'll pray about it and shoo, like just no, we're just moving on. And that was painful, and it was painful for a long time, and honestly up until this revealing point, it was like nobody saw. And now it's like, even though George Floyd's death was horrific, it was insanely revealing. For some reason, the blinders fell off of people's eyes, and I was grateful for that. I was grateful for that, at least. So Jeremiah 6 verse 14 says, "They have treated my people's brokenness superficially, claiming peace, peace, when there is no peace." And that is how I felt. That is how it felt being black and being a Christian in America for the past 4 years, is people saying racism doesn't exist. Oh, it's just evil. It's just sin. And it's like, okay, you're saying that as a white person who has not experienced what it is to be a minority in America. And so we cannot put our lens of life on and assume that everyone has the same experience. There are a lot of people who are like, America's great, the Pilgrims came and Columbus sailed the ocean blue, and everything is hunky-dory, like, we're in a Christian nation under God, right? You know, like our founding fathers were men of faith, and, you know, and then me being a black person and knowing my history since I was 6 years old and being fascinated by the lineage of my ancestry from Africa to here, am sitting here like, wait a second, something's not adding up. Like, something's not adding up to that narrative. That's not how I see it. And so I think a lot of the time that, you know, if you're in the majority culture, I'm not saying every white person thinks this way, but there's this idolization of America's narrative from just a white Christian lens. And it's like, you expect that lens to be everyone else's lens too. And when it's not, you say things like, go back to your country, you know, you're sowing division, because you just don't understand, right? And so that was alarming. And I think after processing it for about a week, I've been thinking about, you know, being black, being Christian, being American, all of those things. What is my identity in Christ? How do I need to separate the two? Am I just going to be like, I'm a Christian, forget about blackness, forget about American, and I'm just over here? What do I do? I've heard a lot of people say, you know, you're like, first of all, you're a child of God, and before you're black, you're a child of God. And I understand this sentiment, and in some ways I agree, but I think I would just present it in a different way. So, number one, I am a child of God, right? But God made me in His image. That's what it says in Genesis. God made me in His image, a black woman, for a reason. I don't live that out, but I don't live that out the way the world dictates. I position myself for every part of me to be used for His glory. So my blackness, yes, I'm black, but like I said, I don't allow the culture to influence what that means. I allow God to influence what that means. I believe that every part of me has been intertwined for his purpose. Every part of me creates this mosaic and tapestry that is solely for the glory of God. So denying that part of me, denying the fact that I am a black woman, would be taking away something that God put there on purpose. And I am American, but my allegiance is to God first. So God made me American, but okay, God, how am I American for your glory? Like, how you put me in this country, in this time for a reason, and it's for your glory. And I think that even the church has let, like, the politics of the world, like, get infiltrated into their theology and their message. It's like, yes, we're American, but, like, God placed us, you know, as Americans for a purpose, for his glory, not from the like what the government says that Christians should be, or like what the government says that Christians should value, or what the world says that Christians should value, but God himself. Like, that should be the only lens that we're coming from, not from the world's perspective. And so he's not asking me to ignore parts of myself. He's asking that I use it for him. It's not the same as denying who he made me to be. And I can ignore it. I just ask, how do you want me to use it? So being a child of God, being a black woman, being American, all of those things are mapped out exactly. It's exactly who I'm supposed to be. God mapped that out for a reason. He put me where I am as a millennial, you know. He put me in the city I'm in. He did all of those things. The color of my skin, the way my hair is, the way my eyes are, every single thing was done on purpose. He's the master creator. He has the master blueprint of our lives. And they're for a reason, and they're a part of a plan. And my only posture is, God, let you influence those parts of me. Let you completely control how that is carried out in the earth. So, and that's just where, you know, I feel like the Lord has me. And if you have any questions, or you even disagree, I would love to hear what your take is. But just know that every part of you is made on purpose, and you're not supposed to deny every single part. You're not supposed to deny it. You're just supposed to place it in the perspective of Christ and of kingdom. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a great Tuesday. Bye.